What's up, guys? Lore here with even more exciting Heart of the Swarm beta action once again here on Core Hall City. Got a Terran vs Zerg for you. Up here on the top, we have ThorZain! Surprise! Yes, more matches from the ThorZain replay pack. He was kind enough to release, one of the first pro gamers actually to release a replay pack, so that was awesome to see. But guess who this is down over here? Oh, you spoiled it for me, Stephano, you jerk! Yes, that's right, we've got ThorZain versus Stephano. These inconsiderate players talking to each other. I love Stephano's just random bad manner at the start. Obviously just joking, I believe these guys are fairly good friends, but this is fun to see. I am I love these guys. I love the start of a beta like this. Everybody knows the balance is so super out of whack, but they're playing it anyway because they love playing the game. These guys just love doing this stuff. So really happy to see this stuff happening, and just the general camaraderie that everybody has, especially out of like ThorZain. We've seen a few matches already. I don't know if all of them have made it to my YouTube if you haven't been watching on the live stream, but we've seen a few matches even out of ThorZain already where he's like, yeah, whatever, man, totally stupid warhounds. They're super overpowered. I suppose this is a good time to make note that this is before the patch that nerfed warhounds right after the release of the beta. So these warhounds be tripping, yo. These are some pretty nasty excuse me, pretty nasty warhounds. Also, I feel the need to point out that I've been casting pretty much non-stop for about 2.5 hours now, and on top of that, it's 9 a.m. my time, so apologies. My throat is starting to get mad at me. This is just part of what it's going to take for me to get my voice up to speed to continue casting these games, because holy balls, I love casting these games. They have been so good. So anyway, let's take a look at what's actually going on here. We have very fast expansion out of these two guys. Apologies for the phone in the back. Hopefully you guys can't hear that. But very fast expansion out of both of these guys. Who calls people at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday? That's absolutely ridiculous. Shut up, phone. Anyway, what was I saying? Here we are. Right, barracks at the front, going for a quick wall off. I'll run through this map really quickly. I've done this a lot of times so far, but there is one really important thing to point out that I haven't seen anybody do yet, and it's these collapsible rock towers at this third. If you were to come over here and take this out, it only has 500 health. It doesn't take as long for that to actually die. So you can come over here, and those rocks will land right where you want to put your hatchery or command center or so on. I feel like that actually would be a pretty easy move for Stephano to make in these positions. This is a rotationally symmetric map. A little bit tougher for ThorZain to actually do, because he would either have to walk all the way around over here or walk right past his main base to be able to get to it. But yeah, I haven't seen anybody do that yet in any of these matches that I've cast, and it just seems like something that would maybe not like set back your opponent a huge distance, but it still would be kind of nice to actually see. So, speaking of seeing, what are these guys doing? Orbital command is now finished on both of ThorZain's main command centers here. Excuse me. Getting a bunker up as well. And what is Stephano up to? Stephano is just droning like crazy. No upgrades just yet. Doesn't even have a gas just yet. Oh, excuse me. He's actually getting 2 of them up over here at his first expansion. And starting to prepare at least to get his queens to send out some creep tumors. Should be seeing that creep tumor here in just a moment. Whatever. We'll just assume that he drops it eventually. And we do have a very fast third command center coming out of ThorZain. So I'm assuming he's going to want to drop this over here. He's probably going to turn it into, based on that positioning, I'm assuming he's probably going to turn it into an orbital first, just to get the extra mule out right away. But he could go and drop that over at the position I was talking about earlier. And there's a factory coming out. So considering he's got 4 gases already, and they are all fully stocked with 3 workers in each of them, I'm betting we're going to see warhounds. And there's a second factory. Yeah, we're going to see some warhounds in this game. Let's see how Stephano is able to react to them. Wow, that's 3 factories right away. Yeah, he is going... We've seen a couple games so far with ThorZain doing this. He just goes ridiculous numbers of warhounds and kills absolutely everything that has ever existed, because that is what warhounds do. It takes 5 warhounds to kill God. It takes 10 warhounds to take out every other deity in existence. It's I mean, at the same time I'm talking about there. So yeah, pretty nuts how good Warhounds are right now, and ThorZain loves making them. Wow, very fast 4th command center out of ThorZain too. He's going for a sick nasty economy early on. That one's going to come down here. He's going to obviously have to take out those destructible debris before he can do that. And he's actually just using this extra one just to make SCVs right now. You do see this happen a lot. I was kind of expecting him to drop it somewhat earlier, but I guess he doesn't really know. In fact, has he actually seen... He has not seen anything in Stephano's base yet. He doesn't even know where he is. He might have been able to spot like something else moving earlier on, but he hasn't actually scouted exactly where his main is at all. So he's just kind of... I love that little animation as well. He's just kind of sitting back and saying, you know what? It doesn't matter what you do. I'm making Warhounds. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to make Warhounds, and they're going to shoot missiles at your face. And as I say that, he starts queuing up siege tanks and building siege tech. Okay. So now is the part where I have no idea what's going to happen. He is getting double armory for those upgrades, and in fact adding on a 4th factory. So I'm really curious what he's got in store. I mean, obviously siege tanks are still decent against Zerg. They're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. But I was honestly expecting Warhounds. So now my entire world has been turned on its head, and I have no idea what is going on here. Infestation pit. I said that weird. Infestation pit up for Stephano now. Starting to get up roaches. Is he actually working on... No, he's not. Okay, he's not working on his hive just yet. And he's just now getting his 3rd, actually. Meanwhile, ThorZain is moving over to take his 3rd. So, once again, neither player made use of those collapsible rock towers. One day I'm going to see somebody do that, and I'm going to be so excited when it happens. We do have this little roach push coming out here. This is a total of about 10 roaches moving up over here. They're taking a little bit of shots from that siege tank there, and in fact Stephano's going to pull those back a little bit, except for those ones. Those ones are just going to walk right through there and apparently be fine. And he's going to come over here and try to do some damage up over here. There are a couple Marines there, but nice little micro there from Stephano. Wow, is he going to save that? He does save that. Very nice micro from Stephano. He managed to save that extra roach so that it can immediately run in there and die to a siege tank shot. Is ThorZain going to lift that? Okay, yeah, there we go. But there are actually a decent number of roaches here. Unfortunately, siege tanks and Thors are pretty good against roaches. And there's actually even a battle heli in there just doing whatever he happens to feel like. Does he have blue flame? Yes, he does actually have blue flame. So, interesting little stuff coming out of ThorZain here. I'm amazed we haven't seen Warhounds. I'm just shocked that we haven't seen... That's been every single game is Warhounds. So, very, very interesting so far. We're pairing up that expansion, and he is G to G, which means good to go, not good game. Sorry, confusion there a little bit. This is what happens when I cast a whole ton of games at 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm just going a little bit crazy in the head. So let's take a look at what Stephano's up to. Catch back up in Zergville over here, getting himself up a macro hatch. And otherwise, oh no, there we go. Swarm hosts incoming. Swarm hosts are so good. We haven't had a chance to really see them used to super effectiveness, at least not in the games that I've cast so far. But they are really, really, really good. In fact, he's already got a couple up over here. Look at these locusts. They live for basically ever. And they do right now. He's got +1 missile attacks up on him already, doing 18 damage per shot, and they're shooting pretty quickly. Those hurt. Those hurt a lot. There's actually an upgrade you can get. I don't know if he's finished it or not. Let's check here. He has. There's an upgrade that you can get that increases the lifetime of those of those locusts that the swarm hosts spawn. And they appear to just be spawning them like crazy at the moment. They're just getting a little bit ahead of themselves. And they just do a lot of damage. Now the locust damage is being nerfed in the same patch that's going to nerf. Excuse me. The same patch that's going to nerf the Warhounds. So, there we go. Warhounds incoming now. ThorZain's actually managed to supply block himself, but there he goes. Fixes that up, no problem. And now here come the Warhounds. He's decided, you know what? You're making swarm hosts, fine. I'm gonna make Warhounds. And in come the locusts. That was... Where did those even come? Did he seriously send those from all the way over here? Holy crap! That's the longest siege that's ever been done ever. Look at how. I mean, obviously they're just running in here and dying to the siege tanks. But imagine the possibilities that can come from something like that. These are sitting at his base. These are at Stephano's base right now. And they're able to send out these locusts, and they live long enough to get all the way over here to ThorZain's base. Now we do have, I guess that was just that thing, but there is a couple of these guys coming in here right now. These Hellions coming over here, and they are going to get picked apart and taken out really quickly. We've seen in a couple of other games that going into Battle Hellion mode actually allows them to take out Mass Zergling much easier than they were able to in Wings of Liberty, but he was unfortunately not able to do that well right there. And here comes the gigantic mech push from ThorZain. I don't think that these swarm hosts can actually do anything about that, unfortunately. There's plenty of stuff there to be able to take them out. And one of the problems that swarm hosts run into is when they're spawning these things, they do spawn them on, you can turn off the autocast, but they do normally spawn them on autocast, which means that they're just sort of spawning a little bit at a time. I almost think that it's going to end up being a good idea to turn off the autocast on those so that you can force a big wave to spawn all at once. But anyway, yeah, ThorZain is just pushing in here with all this stuff, and I don't think these swarm hosts are actually going to be able to do anything about it. They're just spawning in locusts, and yeah, now they're going to have to lift up and run away. That's a lot of swarm hosts to lose for Stephano, and that's a lot of Stephano's army tied up in swarm hosts as well. Other than those 11 swarm hosts, all he has is a handful of roaches and some infestors now that are coming out. But I don't know, or excuse me, no, that just looks like infestors. It's actually just the locusts going out there and dying. He has 2 roaches and 10 swarm hosts. So this may be a bit of a disappointing end to this game. He's got so much tied up in drones, in swarm hosts, and 8 roaches. And he's adding on roaches as quickly as he can, but I don't think he can actually do anything about this push. There's just so much here from ThorZain. I mean, he's been doing as much damage as he can, and incidentally, the locusts seem to be actually causing the siege tanks to fire on ThorZain's army and actually do splash damage to ThorZain's army. But I don't know if there's anything that Stephano can actually do. So this may be a very slow and painful death, or presumably a very quick and painful death for Stephano. The locusts do have a range attack, I should point that out. They do have a range attack, so as long as they can get close, they can do at least some damage. And here we go, Stephano coming in with a whole bunch of roaches, trying to do as much damage as he possibly can. He has managed to get them close, so that the splash damage is hitting other of ThorZain's units, but just not enough damage done. And that's pretty much going to be it. Stephano is now supply blocked. He's at 150 supply, and he's doing what he can, but I just don't think there's enough that he can actually do to fight this off. He's now losing all of his swarm hosts, and even though most of ThorZain's army is, well, never mind, there's still these siege tanks up here. So, yeah, Stephano says, well played, congratulations, you successfully found the Warhound button on your keyboard, and that's the end of that game. So I guess this game serves as a really, really good example of why Warhounds are getting nerfed. They're just a bit too strong. A lot of people have been saying, oh no, they're just a bit too all around. That's not really the case. They're a bit better than every other unit. So, disappointing end to that game. Like I said, this is being patched. These are being nerfed. The Locusts are being nerfed as well, but they weren't really a major player in that. And I feel like the Locust nerf is a lot less of a pain, or a lot less impactful than the Warhound nerf is going to be. Is that a sideways mushroom cloud? That's kind of interesting. But yeah, good game to both players regardless. My name is Lore. I'll see you for the next match.